Hello students, welcome to one more session today. Today we are going to learn on the topic of importance as well as functions or process of management, which can be useful for all BBA students, BCom, MBA and MCom students. So let's get into the topic. Yeah, importance of management. So before going to importance of management, we should know what is management. As we have already discussed about management, management is the art of getting things done through or by people. And management is omnipresent. It should be everywhere, wherever you go in this entire world. So there is no substitute for management in a modern organization. As we all know that the management is a dynamic concept and it can give life to every element in the business. Without it, without its resources of production remains resources and never becomes production. So an organization may have raw materials, machines, human resources, etc. But those can't produce satisfying products unless they are efficiently managed. So being a manager, you need to manage those raw materials, human resources, machines in a very efficiently and effective way. Let us talk about the important points today about this management. The first one we have is determination of objectives. Yes, every management is to be there in order to determine the objectives. So it is the duty of the management to lay down the objectives of an organization. They are put into writing and communication to all others in the organization. No other organization can succeed in its operations unless its objectives are identified and defined. Let's move on to the second point. It also helps in achieving group goals because it arranges all the factors of production like many, money, materials, tools, and all these things. So, in order to achieve goals, these are all properly managed. So, you need to have a very group where they can concentrate more on the productivity in a company. So, by defining objective of organization clearly, there would be no wastage of money, time, money, and effort. Management converts disorganized resources of men, machine, money, etc. into an useful enterprise. Next, apart from these two objectives, it has one more objective, that is to encourage the teamwork. Management encourages employees to work as a team. It develops team spirit in the organization. This unity brings success in the org. Now, let's move on to one more subtopic in this POM, that is functions or process of management. So talk let us talk these five functions. We have five functions of management: planning, organizing, directing, staffing, and controlling. So let us talk about the first one, that is planning. So as we all know that planning is the primary function of management, nothing can be performed without planning. In short, planning refers to deciding in advance what is to be done in the future. In the business world, the organization should achieve the objectives. As we all know that every organization will have their own objectives, like to get profits, increase their market share. So for that, they need to have a proper plan. So this planning is all about what is to be done, when it is to be done, how it is to be done, and by whom it is to be done. Planning is necessary to ensure proper utilization of human and non-human resources. It is all pervasive. It is an intellectual activity which differs from one person to another person. And with the help of planning, there will be no chance of confusion, uncertainties, risks, and even wastages. Now we'll move on to the second point, that is organizing. Organizing is the distribution of work in group wise or section wise for effective performance. In organizing, the organizing divides, the entire organization divides the total work. As we have a lot of work in the organization and there is a need to divide the work and we need to assign the work to the respective candidates or respective people who are called superiors or subordinates or managers. Organization defines the position of each person in the organization and determine the paths through which communication should flow. It determines who should report to whom and how. So the organizing can be done in two ways. As you can see on the screen here, we have two things: organization of human factor, organization of material factor. Organization as a process involves some few key important elements like identification of activities, classification of grouping into activities, assignment of duties, delegation of authority, and creation of responsibility. These are the four important elements of the organizing. That means you need to give the right person the right work. You cannot give a technical work to a managerial person and a managerial work to a technical person. So whenever you are organizing any work, you need to make sure that the work is given to the right people at the right time. Now we'll move on to the third function of management, that is staffing. So what is staffing? We have another name for staffing, that is HRM. HRM stands for Human Resources Management. So staffing is very much important for the organization growth. As we know that the organization is full of people with lot of skills. So that does means staffing will take care about the recruiting of right people, selecting the right people, giving them proper training, and giving them compensation and retirement benefits and every year appraisals. These are all very much important in order to grow. So here individuals are very much important. The complete staffing function of management takes care about individuals or people in the organization who are the highest priority, which is the highest priority for a company to succeed or survive in the competitive world. Directing. This is one more important function which is called as the heart of management because the communication takes place here, and so far whatever we did in the previous functions like planning, organizing, staffing has got no importance if you don't have proper direction. So what is direction? Direction is all about guiding the people to the respective challenges, respective goals. So here we have three elements in direction. What are those three elements? We have motivation for you, we have leadership, and we have communication. These three are the important elements whenever you are giving any direction. You need to be very clear on your communication. You need to have the leadership ability so that you can influence the people and make sure that the organizational goals are achieved. And you need to be a proper motivator. And this motivation can be done in different ways, right? By in a positive motivation, in negative motivation, monetary, non-monetary. These are all the different ways or tools or techniques that we use to motivate the subordinates. So we need to have these three qualities. You need to be a proper motivator, you need to be a good leader, and you need to be a proper communicator. Communication is all about passing on information, experiences, or even opinions. So these three are the elements where you need to do well. Now we'll move to the last function, that is controlling. So what is controlling for you? We have planned a lot, but you need to have proper controlling. Whatever you plan, if you don't have proper controlling, the planning goes in vain. So what is controlling? Controlling is all about making sure that you are traveling in the right path. As you can see on the screen here, it implies measurement of accomplishment against the standards. Yes, every company will have their standards set, and you need to make sure that you are following those standards. If you are not following those standards, you need to know where you are going wrong and you need to rectify that mistake. So that is what controlling gives you. As you can see here, many people have given their own way of own definitions. As you can see the definition here, according to Theo Haimann, he told that controlling is the process of checking whether or not proper progress is being made towards the objectives and goals and acting if necessary to correct any deviation. So whenever if you have any deviation, you have to make sure that you are rectifying that and you are going in the right track or right path. Next, we have few steps in controlling. As you can see here, we have establishment of standard performance, measurement of actual performance, comparison of actual performance with the standards, and finding out deviations if you have any deviations. And then the final step is corrective action. So these four are the important steps you need to go through whenever you have in the controlling process. So first step is to make the standard performance. That means you need to set the goals. This, for example, in an industry, you may set that every day you need to produce 10,000 units. That might be the standard. So after 3 months, you might check and you might see that there is some deviation. So the deviation is that every day they are producing some 6,000 units. So they are deviating by 4,000 units per day. So obviously they need to do or they need to take a corrective action, which is very much important. This corrective action at the right time can save lot of money, lot of efforts, as well as time for the people in the organization. That's all we have for today, guys. All the best. Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel, Mentor the Trusted Guide, and all the best.